Hi Soul Family, this is Mimi with Divination by Mimi. Welcome to the December 18th, 2017 New Moon in Sagittarius Tarot reading, with a little bit of astrology. Firstly, I'd like to thank all the new subscribers that have joined the channel. It really means a lot that we're building a community here. Also, I would like to thank you for your feedback, your comments, and for sharing with your friends if you think the video might help your friends of another astrological sign or the same astrological sign. The only other thing I was going to ask of you is if you feel this resonates with you, do share it, because if it resonated with you, it might with someone else as well. And it might help them understand what they're going to, or the energies or the feelings that they're having around the time. So that's what I ask. For those of you who booked a reading with me, thank you so much for entrusting me with your life circumstances and your questions. It's been a real honor to be part of your journey and you trying to troubleshoot through certain things in your life. So much appreciated. And without further ado, let's get on with the reading. So this is, as I said, a new moon in the 9th house ruled by Sagittarius, mutable sign. And the 9th house tends to be about travel. It's ruled by Jupiter, so it's expansion. It is about education, travel, I think I said. It's also about borders. So collectively, we might be looking at changes in how we travel. There might be changes or updates in the way that our security levels are met as citizens of our various countries when we're traveling, and the borders and the rules that go along with that. Now, it's not something that's going to have a lot of change happening, but it will be a time of consideration. Remember, a dark moon or a new moon is a gestation period. It's a time of deep thought and consideration, kind of like the Hermit card. Introspection. So don't be surprised if you think about this type of thing in your personal life. That's what we'll be possibly looking at on the collective, when you watch the news and talk shows and things like that. On the personal level, you might feel that this has you reconsidering, giving some thought to, do I want to possibly learn a new craft? Do I want to expand my business? Do I want to do business with other countries than what I'm currently doing? Or do I want to reach customers in other countries? This could also be you considering your personal boundaries, because it's about borders. So this is a good time to think, okay, where am I giving too much? And where am I letting too many people come in and affect my life, where it's possibly not helping me, but draining me? So these are all things to look at. So what we're doing today is a reading based upon the supernal triangle, or the top 3 placements of the tree of life. So there's several trees of life, just looking at 2 here. If you follow the Kabbalistic tree of life, this would be the supernal triangle of Keter, Chokmah, and Binah, the top 3 sephir of the tree. If you follow the Kemetic tree of life, this would be the top 3 placements of Amin Asur, Tehuti, and Sekert. If you just follow Jungian theory, this would be superconscious, conscious, and subconscious mind. Now, with this new moon energy, if you're a magical person with new moons and dark moons, we know that this is a time where you plant seeds of intention, where you do magical work or spell work that has to do with bringing things to you. So if you're trying to increase your financial abundance, this would be the time to do a spell along those lines. Things like that. So this is the Morgan Greer deck we're going to be using. This is a very pretty, colorful, graphic variation of the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. So it's the Rider-Waite-Smith system. And we'll get started on the reading. Hopefully I don't get too chatty. It's a lot of energy this month. The full moon being in Gemini. Again, that mutable axis between Sagittarius, the 9th house, and Gemini, the 3rd. This is for the soul family for the new moon, December 18th at, just so you know, at 1:30 a.m. That's Eastern Standard Time, in the 4th quarter of Sagittarius, to the tail end. And this would be about the point a couple of days before about 3 days before the solstice and a couple of days before Saturn starts to make its move from Sagittarius from the 9th house into the 10th house of Capricorn. So interesting time. Very energetically potent month, this. And of course, this is the last lunation of 2017. Happy holidays to everyone, all my friends, members of the soul family. All right, let's see what Hecate wants us to know for our collective soul for the new moon in the 9th house of Sagittarius, December 18th, 2017. Hecate, cosmic soul, Holy Mother, Titaness, and creatrix of the universe. What do you want us to know for December 18th, 2017, new dark moon in the sign of Sagittarius, the mutable sign of Sagittarius. Super conscious. Rough messages. That's the Knight of Swords. This would be a Gemini, actually. Conscious mind. The Ace of Swords in reverse. This is thought energy, which is interesting. And the World card in reverse. I think what we've got here is a warning from Source, from the Goddess, from God, what your higher selves, our higher mind collectively, to watch our communications with each other. We're talking again about the 9th house. So collectively, we're talking about borders, other cultures, foreign travel, education, learning about other people. This particular night, again, they're all about communication, but all the swords are communication and thought patterns. This particular night, you notice he has blood on his sword? This night is a very, I don't want to say thoughtless, but he's quick moving, and he's Gemini, so ruled by Mercury, so mercurial, and not always careful with his words. It can be perfunctory, but worse or more difficult, he can be, or she can be, blunt to a fault. So I think we're being called here to be aware of that tendency. Again, a lot of energy is occurring this month. There's just a lot of activity this month, energetically, in all the house, almost all the houses. But I mean, there's going to be a tendency to argument with this opposition between Uranus in Aries and Mars in Libra. Although I think Mars will be in Scorpio at that time. I'll have to check. Apologies if I've got that wrong. But this opposition can cause arguments. No, I think it should still be in Libra at the time. I hope. It can cause arguments. It can cause us to assert our will in a blunt way, in a thoughtless way. So we're being asked to be aware of that. Now we're being asked to be honest. You know, we don't want to beat around the bush. We don't want to hem and haw when we really need to get to the point, and we really need to express something of importance for yourself and for the other party. But yeah, there should be a tempering of our tongue in a sense. Now, in the conscious mind, we have a feeling that there is no communication, that there's no, this is the Ace of Swords in reverse. So this is an opportunity for communication. This is an opportunity for intellectual pursuit, excuse me, or the beginning of a dialogue, so to speak. But we don't seem to be focusing on that need for the dialogue. We're either ignoring that need, we're ignoring the need for the dialogue and for the communication and for the learning, the thinking on. In other words, we may have a tendency to feel like we know it all, like we've already got it all figured out and we know it all. And we don't. Okay. In the subconscious mind, we have the world in reverse. So this is subconscious, you know, the world of dreams, symbols, signs, images, archetypes, things like that. We have a fear, I think, that we're going to lose headway, or we're going to lose something if we consider other people's opinions, if we open a dialogue, if we open a conversation, allow for a conversation. Like we'll lose our world, or we'll lose our worldview or perspective, which apparently we're holding on to quite tightly here, because I believe strongly what we're being called here to do is, although we have our ideas and we hold them true, it is important to keep an open mind. It's important that you don't hold ideas so firmly to your person that you lose the opportunity to learn something new, a new perspective, a new angle on a subject. But more importantly, as an individual, you stop growth. In other words, if you have all the facts, or you think you have all the facts, you probably don't. There's no hurt or concern or loss in listening to another perspective. Okay, that's always a good thing. So just remember that when we want to, and these are very difficult times right now. These are on the world stage. My gosh, it is a whirlwind of constant change and butting heads as it relates to opinions on how things should be done, on people's morals and ethics. We're fighting. It's like there's really a tense energy at the moment. So there is a tendency to hold on for dear life to things that we believe are tried and true, especially when they're being challenged by someone else, which is an energy that's occurring right now. And the tendency might be to be cutting, dismissive of the other's opinions. But as you see, this is not only us concerned that we're losing the world, but this is also us not completing a cycle. The world card is the last card of the major arcana. This is the completion of the fool's journey, the cycle. So in what we think we're losing everything if we give up our view without considering another. Remember, you can listen to another view without giving up your own. It just adds to your portfolio of knowledge, right? If you listen to another. If we do that, we lose the ability to move to a new level. Remember, life is cycles. 7 Kemetic, Hermetic, whatever you want to say, principles, but I say Kemetic principles. You know, everything vibrates, nothing stays still, nothing moves. Everything is cycle. So in other words, the moment that this gets turned around and the fool has completed his journey, poop, we're right back to the fool again. We start again. Kind of like here with the aces. If we get to 10, the 10 of swords, it just means a new cycle starts. Constant change, constant movement, everything vibrates, everything goes in cycles. Okay, so there needs to be, because it is the nature, despite how we act and fight against it, natural process is constant cycling, constant change, which means a constant need to learn and grow and keep an open mind. So, and again, the energy is such in the world right now that it might make a person who's normally open-minded and normally considerate of the other's view guarded and hold very tightly to ideals, but they're being challenged for a reason. It's part of our growth, collectively and individually. So just carry that same argument into a personal life. If you've got a certain view on a certain situation with a certain someone in your life and you're holding on to it for dear life and they have a completely different view, just remember, you want to be heard. You need to hear them as well. I hope that helps. And I'm not trying to preach. I'm just saying this is the tendencies out there to hold on for dear life. And don't. There's no need. All right, that's all that I have. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to book a personal reading, feel free to email me at the email address in the description box below the video. That's mememes@hotmail.com. You can go to my WordPress website, and there is a link right there to make a payment for PayPal, very reasonable prices. And I think that's it. Oh, and I have a Patreon if you'd like to donate to the content on the channel. But otherwise, thanks so much for your time and your attention. I will see you for next month, which is next year's lunations and astrological readings. Take good care.